why do spouses, what are some of the reasons why spouses don't support, their spouse? What are some reasons you think husbands don't support their wives and wives don't support their husbands in their dreams and aspirations?
Yeah. I think that sometimes it could be of fear of the change because, whether it's a good change or a bad change, it's uncertainty there. And it's a possibility that you may move and leave.
Hmm.
You may find somebody else in that space that the spouse may not be in. So you have that fear. It could be jealousy,
Hmm.
not wanting the spouse to reach a certain altitude.
Hmm.
It could be financial. Just it's competition and pride that will keep people, keep spouses from supporting one another. And if you're not safe in that space of supporting your spouse, then it's gonna show up.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I guess the thing for me is like how did spouses get to that point where they don't support one another or they don't feel comfortable or don't feel secure enough to support them? Like, what's the change? And I think you said the change could be that they would go on and move on.
Mhm.
Okay, but why? Why do they feel that way? So, what did the spouse do to make them feel as if though they will leave? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Um,
sometimes it may not be the spouse. It could be something that the spouse witnessed as a child.
hmm.
It could be, we observing and learning things as we go and through life. And it's like, ooh, so and so mama left when the daddy
Got his
started.
degree. Got
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
You hear stories too, even in movies, you hear stories where the wife or the husband will support the other, and then once they get there, it was the somebody at work,
The mistress.
the or Mister, that it's like,
Hmm.
yeah. So anyway, so you we see that in on the screen
Hmm.
where I supported you in your dream and you left me when you arrived there.
Hmm.
So it can be some underlining things because
Hmm.
the truth be told, the mind does not know that it's not them that's going through. It's just witnessing experiences.
Hmm.
And so, like sometimes we're looking at crime on TV, when we're looking at loss, and we feel the impact of that. Which is why sometimes we can look at the movie and cry, or we
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
whatever. That's supposed to be shocking.
Hmm.
But anyway, when you witness that, the mind doesn't know that it's not being done to it,
Right.
to the person.
Correct.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's why it's important for communication throughout the marriage or as people beginning to grow in the marriage, to begin to get to know your spouse, not just as your spouse, but as your friend. I think if you have true friends, I don't think true friends are jealous of one another. True friends really support one another and they encourage one another and they want to see the person do well.
Mhm.
And so because the spouses aren't really friends, and that's my thing, and people disagree, but because they aren't really friends, then they don't know how to, here you go, they don't know how to do what the scripture says in Corinthians, where it says that the husband um, must, I'm just paraphrasing because I can't think of it verbatim, that the husband must be concerned about how he may please his wife. And she must be concerned also about how she may please her husband. So it's hard for me to do that with my wife or with the husband, because we don't have this connection with God, nor with ourselves, nor with our spouse from a firm foundation of a firm relationship foundation in the marriage. And so, yeah, I can feel like or may be fearful or jealousy or things of that nature. Because I know I don't think, yeah, I know none of my guys that's 100 upset when we do well. Like we encourage that. Because really, the truth be told, just coming from hanging out, man, when I come up, you come up. So in a sense, in the marriage, it should be that way. Like when she come up, hey, guess what? Guess who coming with her? But that happens, or that's easier to believe and it's easier to be done again when throughout the relationship this friendship is firm and strong. My opinion.
Hmm. Yeah, it would be another prime example of that too. As far as the friendship is just like earlier in the segment, you noticed that my energy was off, and so you was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And a lot of times we won't address what that is that we sense. So let's say a spouse is moving or being promoted a lot, or they're making changes, and then the spouse that is witnessing that and feeling a certain kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
it would be wise to say, "Baby, I really am excited," or about you being promoted, or
Mm-hmm.
"Baby, I'm really feeling a way about you getting promoted, and it seems like I'm
That's deep.
stuck.
Yeah.
I feel like stuck, like I feel like you might leave me."
Yeah.
But again, no one really wants to be or express their
Yeah.
vulnerability.
Yeah.
Um, and so that kind of leads me into something that I was reflecting on this morning, and that would be that a place of covenant. We say covenant relationship, but I don't really think that we really have really dug into what that means. And so, anyway, th- I would say what I just shared about, I see you being promoted and I'm feeling a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm moving on and you're not moving at all. And
Mm.
it's frustrating me. Like, why you not?
I'm moving and
And
you're
you're
not doing
stuck.
anything,
Uh huh.
and that's frustrating for me
Uh huh.
as well. Like it's, hey, I got you. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So it's kind of a double edged. So, one spouse may be continuing to work to compensate for the lack of another one
Mm-hmm.
because they do desire a better future or they want a good today,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so, at any rate, a part of that covenant, when we say, when, we hear in Genesis that they were naked and unashamed.
Mm-hmm.
That naked was not just a physical without clothing, but they were naked emotionally, mentally, spiritually, like they were wide open, like they could see each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they could enjoy one another without anything hindering or keeping them from one another. Because at the point that we put fig leaves on,
Mm-hmm.
there that is a type of covering.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the now that's modern, that's 2024, a type of fig leaf would be a career. I'm covering up, I'm compensating
Mm-hmm.
with making sure that we have a lot of finances, so
Mm-hmm.
I won't have to address that, that you feeling insecure.
Mm-hmm.
I may throw myself into volunteering. Okay, let's really be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I throw myself into the
Ch- yeah,
ministry
into church. Yeah.
and I will help others, but I won't help you.
Yeah.
And so I can see that you're starving. Like at the end of the day, when we leave the house, it's like going back to their performance. It's like game on. We gonna do this in the
Mm-hmm.
name of the Lord. When we come
Mm-hmm.
home, don't you say nothing to me. Don't
Mm-hmm.
look my way. And I know you're not expecting me to fix your plate, cause I
Mm-hmm.
ain't. That's not what I was here to do. Or I just finished serving everybody
Yeah.
else. And so, and the truth of the matter is, you very well may be exhausted.
I saw a YouTube video of a couple like that. Like I think they said for 8 years they've really been separated, but the church never knew it because they were trying to keep up this
Image.
image.
Yeah.
And I think at some point the wife, she got fed up. Is the wife? No, yeah, the wife. The wife got fed up, and she just said she couldn't do it anymore because they were quote unquote trying to protect the flock, but in the end they were really hurting themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
probably doing more damage because the people at the church, she said, had no idea what was going on. But the woman just couldn't, like the wife, she couldn't do it anymore. And I forgot what ended up. Oh, they ended up coming to get counseling from somebody and to kind of deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think they ever went into what actually happened, like how
The
was it resolved,
outcome.
like the outcome. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that may be happening a lot,
Yeah.
in a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
places.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
For sure. But then again, like I said, it goes back to being able well, let me go back. You sharing, being able to have that friendship
Mhm.
where if you are feeling away, I know that I can come to you and be honest and
Mhm.
transparent
Mhm.
about what I am truly feeling. The fact that you are moving on
Mhm.
is showing how stuck I am,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Or, baby, I want to support you, but I'm so freaking frustrated
Mhm.
that I hadn't
Mhm.
made moves in my own life. Like it's just so much,
Mhm.
so many reasons that could be why a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot because they're so vague. That could be the reason why some spouses don't support one another.
And maybe they don't feel comfortable or they don't feel the safe space to come to their spouse to be honest about how they feeling about them moving on forward. Just think, I know, well, it could be. Just, I think it happens more in the mind of a man that if the wife is moving and grooving and I as the man is am not doing anything. Like I'm not doing nothing. That we feel some kind of way. You feel what I'm saying?
But
And
you can't
so,
say that you
but
feel
I
them.
can't. But I believe I actually can.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, through life has made me feel like as a man I can't say. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like you gotta, man, you gotta toughen up. You gotta take that. Bro. You gotta do your thing or whatever the case may be. Don't be coming to me whining. Like it's like I don't know. We so think about dude. Just like man, you still crying about that? Man, stop crying. Like that's something we would say, which is not good, because that means we don't have. We always talk about when we get with the other couples, like where do the men go? And we like well the barbershop. Okay, well what if they don't have a barbershop to go to where they can really talk about their emotions and feelings and um, I saw a difference when our barbershop went from several chairs to just the one chair and appointment only. How the men I was cutting the men who I were cutting their hair, how they began to open up a lot more because there was nobody else there, and they were able to kind of just really be
To
honest with how they
vent.
feel and to vent. So again, going back to they feel like they can't say this to their wife, and maybe they really can't because the wife
Yeah.
might be like, "Man, don't be coming with all that, man up." Like, no, baby, this is not time for me for you to say man up to me. This is me taking a chance on being vulnerable. And as we were saying at the marriage workshop or what was it conference,
Mm-hmm.
the at the marriage conference, as a man, if I'm coming to you as my wife, hoping this is a place of vulnerability, is that right? I think that's a word. And then you push me, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. After a while, you'll never get that again. I'll never be naked and ashamed before you again. Yeah. So from now on, whoever has a listening ear, whatever they have, what they call them, uh, work wife, whatever work wife has the listening ear for me, yeah, Keisha gonna get all this information. You know what I'm saying?
It's Keisha. It's
Well, Keisha and
Keisha.
Keith, those are the people.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Oh, every
Anyway,
time you hear me, every time I hear that, I get tickled.
no offense to anybody named Keisha. That's it's just I don't know. Anyway.